Please welcome our mayor, Buddy Dyer.
Good afternoon and welcome to the July 9th, 2012 regularly scheduled meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation, today offered by one of our own, Commissioner Samuel B. Ings, who is a member of the Ark of Faith Ministries. Commissioner, let's all stand, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance offered today by Commissioner Ortiz after the prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. And just before we begin to pray, I have this 15-minute dialogue that I'd like to. Oh, no dialogue? No. All right, let us bow our heads. Father, we just thank you and we honor you and we bless your most holy and righteous name. And Father, we thank you for this day, and this is a day that you have made, and we obviously are rejoicing and we're just glad within it. And Father, we just thank you for even how you are continuing to bless the city of Orlando, the mayor and its commissioners, and Father, that you have blessed us with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And Father, you have blessed us with great staff, and how the staff works to keep Orlando beautiful and safe. And Father, we thank you for our police and fire departments and all of our departments within the city. Father, everyone plays their part, everyone does their part, and they do it well, and we just thank you. And Father, we thank you for the spirit of cooperation, how we work together with one another. And Father, we thank you for the spirit of prosperity that you have blessed upon this city. Even from the budget review workshop this morning, Father, you left a smile on the face of Orlando. And Father, the leadership that we have begun to display throughout this state and throughout the country, it speaks volumes for the great work that you have blessed us with. And Father, we just thank you for all of the citizens and the visitors. May they continue to keep coming to this great city. And Father, last year was 55 plus million. Year before was 52 plus million. And Father, let it continue to grow. And we ask all of these in your name. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make a determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan?
Here.
Commissioner Lynham?
Here.
Commissioner Ings?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's take up the minutes from the June 18, 2012 workshop, agenda review, and city council meeting. Is there
Second.
a motion by Commissioner Lynham? I think I got Commissioner Stewart leading. Commissioner Sheehan's got second this time. Any discussion or additions, changes to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, so the motion carries. We'll move right into awards, recognitions, and presentations, and I would like to call on Commissioner Ings to introduce the first presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, this is the Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair and Community Partners. The Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair began in 2007 when the Orange County Health Department, City of Orlando, and other community partners came together to make a difference in the health and well-being of Central Florida residents. From its inception, it has grown from 50 participants to over 650. Statistics show that 62% of adults in Orlando, Orange County are overweight or obese and have a higher rate of cardiovascular diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and chronic obstructive lung disease than any other city and county in the state of Florida. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other health organizations have proven that these diseases can be prevented or delayed with simple lifestyle changes such as eating healthy and being physically active on a daily basis. The Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair addresses these health issues and give residents an opportunity to learn various ways combating these illnesses by giving them tools and resources to help make lasting changes. At this time, I would like to thank Audrey Alexander for her great commitment in working with the 5K Walk and Health Fair, and I'm asking Leslie Ahanka, who will come and speak before us, and afterwards we're going to ask Dean Grandin to come down. Leslie, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ings, Mayor Dyer, Commissioners. As Commissioner Ings stated, heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease account for over half of the deaths in 2010, according to Florida statistics. For the past 6 years, the Orange County Health Department and the City of Orlando have partnered to host the Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair with the goal of reducing and ultimately eliminating chronic diseases that disproportionately impact communities of color. In order to help reduce the risk factors for stroke and other chronic diseases, it is important to live a healthy lifestyle. So at this time, we're going to ask Commissioner Ings to step down.
Okay.
Commissioner Ings, on behalf of the Orange County Health Department and Dr. Sharon, I would like to present you with this token of our appreciation for your ongoing support of the Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair. You have graciously allowed us to hold the event in your district where there is a disproportion of heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. You have offered your administrative staff to provide technical assistance for us when we've needed it, and you have provided community help to provide value to the community through proclamations. For these reasons and more, we present this award to you that reads, "In recognition of your continued support and commitment to the Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair, taking steps to better health." At this time, we're going to ask Dean Grandin to come and the rest of the members of Get Active Orlando. Okay. Okay. Dean, on behalf, could you come forward? On behalf of the Orange County Health Department and Dr. Sharon, we would like to present this award to Get Active Orlando for its ongoing support of the Washington Shores 5K Walk and Health Fair. Get Active Orlando has provided valuable resources ranging from purchasing fitness equipment, providing volunteers and technical assistance, and event promotion. Moreover, our relationship also includes partnering with bicycle giveaways, creation of the Paramore Community Garden, and physical activity programs for youth in the Paramore community. For these reasons and many more, we present this award to you.
Okay, Commissioner Ortiz, you're up for the second one.
All ready? Thank you, Mayor. All right, let me start. On Saturday, June 23rd, I attended a walk and safety fair at the public library located at the corner of Hofner and Cimarron, sponsored by the Hispanic CERT organization. It was a great walk, 1.4 mile. It wasn't that long, but it was very enjoyable. People were in great spirits, and it was the beginning of a yearly function we're going to be doing. So, okay. Sorry about that. I think I just overstepped my boundaries here. We're doing something else. Hey, you got to have some bloopers to talk about later on. So this is mine. Took me four and a half years. Okay, awards and presentation script. Which one is?
Number 2, Commissioner.
Okay, here we go. Presenting a brief. I thought I was going to do from. Okay, never mind.
There.
Go.
Got him. Got him. I was thinking, wow, that doesn't sound like it.
I think that deserves an applause. Come on.
Of encouragement.
All right. I'm delighted to introduce a person that's very special to me. She's president of Kathy Till and Associates Incorporated, and is an advocacy consultant for the Florida League of Cities. She served as the City of Apopka Commissioner for 8 years and is the immediate past president of the Tri-County League of Cities. I served with Kathy on the board of the Tri-County League of Cities and had the pleasure of working with her at the state legislature. During our time in Tallahassee, I learned one very important thing about her. She is an advocate for cities and a strong, effective one. Currently, candidates for every state senator and House contested seats are running for office, so there is no better time than now to build relationships with these officer seekers. By fostering a positive relationship with our state leaders, hopefully they'll begin understanding the dire consequences of legislation that places expensive mandates on us and erodes our home rule authority. Kathy will briefly touch on some important advocacy tools, and she will discuss upcoming opportunities to participate in the Florida League of Cities advocacy efforts to prepare us for the 2013 legislative session. Not for ado, Ms. Kathy Till, please.
Welcome, Kathy. I wasn't sure whether you had gone on that walk that Commissioner Ortiz
Well,
was
I
beginning
wasn't
to
sure
talk
either.
about.
But I like to walk, but I couldn't remember doing that one. So, well, thank you, Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioners, for the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. I will keep my comments very, very brief and would certainly be willing to address any questions if you do have any. I'm talking to a group of veteran advocates up here, so there's no need for me to preach to the choir. But before I begin my comments, I do want to take a moment to publicly recognize Ms. Kathy Russell. She and I have worked together on various issues in Tallahassee over the years, and you're quite fortunate to have her on your staff, and she does a great job amongst the lobbyists in Tallahassee. So I know that you realize how fortunate you are, but I just wanted to say publicly that I agree with you on that. Obviously, we understand how important advocacy is right now because of redistricting. We do have a lot of our cities throughout the state, and I don't think there's hardly any cities that aren't touched in some way by the redistricting, which means we're going to have a lot of potential new legislators, either incumbents that are going to represent new cities or new individuals altogether. So not only is advocacy important for that reason, but as you know, the upcoming leadership in the House and the Senate over the next few years is going to come from right here in Central Florida. So it's very, very important that we have very strong relationships with those individuals, and we continue to make the needs of our cities known as they lead our state legislature. just to share with you very briefly some of the things that the League is working on right now as it relates to advocacy. First and foremost, in August for our annual conference in Hollywood, we're going to be having an advocacy workshop. And we will have tips and advice from the novice all the way to the veteran advocate about how to adopt and incorporate some advocacy strategies into your daily schedules, your busy schedules, I should say, as commissioners and leaders in your community. So I hope you'll make plans to attend that. But not only will you hear from myself and other local officials, but we have some of our state representatives that will be attending that workshop as well to share their views on advocacy and why it is so important to build a relationship between our state and local leaders. You'll walk away from that workshop with an advocacy guide that you can bring back and review and, once again, look at and decide if there's some strategies in there that you would like to incorporate into your daily schedule. The League has really sort of upped its game a little bit in this coming year as it relates to advocacy. So in addition to the workshop, we're also going to be, or I should say we have started, putting advocacy tips on the League's website. And they're very timely tips that give our elected officials, our local officials, some ideas of what they can be doing when we're not in session. Because as you well know, advocacy is a year-long process. It's not just over the 60-day period of session. So there's some great tips on the website. Another event that the Florida League is doing is partnering with our regional leagues around the state to host candidate events and forums. And we're going to have one right here in Orange County. It's going to be on September 13th in the city of Maitland. All of the candidates for state office, state senate, and state house in Orange County have been invited to attend and participate in that forum. It is after the primary, which means we will have our final candidates at that point. So I hope all of you will make plans to attend that event. We're going to ask some very timely questions of the candidates as they relate to municipal issues. And for the public's benefit, the event is open to the public, so we hope that we'll get a lot of members of our public to attend that event as well. We're also talking about some of the issues that we think are going to be returning in the 2013 legislative session. And very, very briefly, what we're looking at right now, certainly the communication services tax is going to come before us again. Our task force, the state task force, is meeting right now and will present their findings to the state leadership in January. So we're anxiously awaiting the findings that they have. Also, the local business tax receipts. And when it comes to that issue, we like to say we won the battle, but we have not won the war when it comes to keeping that source of revenue in our cities. So we expect there will be other interest groups that will try to become exempted from that source of revenue in the coming years, so we need to be very diligent on that issue. As it relates to CRAs, there was an attempt to pass state legislation that would have a greater state oversight of CRAs and the funding that you have in your CRAs. So look for something like that to come back again. So it's very important that our state legislators understand what our CRAs are doing and how they are properly funded and how those funds are being managed. Pension reform continues to remain at the top of the list, the priority list for the League of Cities, so we expect to see some additional efforts on reform. And I was just talking to Kathy before the meeting started. We're lucky. We have a state legislator right here in Central Florida that is willing to work with us on the red light camera legislation to perhaps clean up some of that legislation so that the future repeal attempts at the state level will discontinue. And with that, I will close because I know you have a lot on your agenda this afternoon, and I would be happy to answer any questions. And if not, once again, thank you very much for this opportunity to come before you.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you for your representation. Questions or comments, anybody? All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you,
Commissioner
Mayor.
Ortiz.
Yes, I do have one. NID.
It's not, sorry.
We're coming back with NID, right? The Neighborhood Improvement District?
I have not heard on that
Okay.
issue. So I would anticipate, I believe Senator Simmons was the one that was leading the charge on that.
Yep.
If he's successfully reelected, I would anticipate that, yes, he would plan on doing that. I have not heard that specifically, though. So,
All right. Thank you, Kathy.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. All right, Rebecca, I'd like to call on you for a 25-year service award.
Well, I have good news, and I have good news for some people and not so good news for others. You know, here at the city, we have a tremendous number of extremely dedicated, very knowledgeable and talented people who work behind the scenes and provide for the services that are extended to the citizens of our city. And I can't be more proud of the way that they go about doing their work every day, their dedication, their integrity. And we have a great example that we're going to recognize today in that very vein. I'm going to ask for Mike to come up and stand next to me. This is Mike Stieber. And Mike has spent his entire career here at the city in management and budget. And I want you to know that for those who don't know him or haven't met him, this man is the person that keeps us straight when it comes to the money in this city. From the beginning in 1987 through 1995, he was a budget management analyst, and he then became budget manager in 1995. In 96, he was named as the McNamara Employee of the Year, one of the 4 individuals that are named each year to that particular award. He continued to serve as budget manager until August of 2010, when we appointed him as the division manager of budget, and he acts as the city's budget officer. He's the person that people can go to ask questions, virtually any question. I call him the Oracle, because whenever I need to know something, I know that I can go to Mike, and Mike will always either have the answer or be able to produce it in double quick time. Proudly serving the City Beautiful and the citizens of Orlando is a family affair. Mike's wife, Linda. Linda, will you stand? And will you come up next to Mike? Okay. Mike's wife, Linda, is also one of those individuals I was speaking of before. She serves as the fiscal manager for the Orlando Police Department, and I don't have to tell you what that involves in terms of managing the funds that we have here in the city. And she, too, very soon will reach her 25-year mark as well. They have a fine young son, John Ronco, and John is going to continue this family tradition. He graduated from Ole Miss with a degree in criminal justice and completed the Law Enforcement Academy at the Criminal Justice Institute at Valencia College. And he's currently in field training as an Orlando police officer, and as a result of needing to be at work today, he's not able to join us, but I'm sure that he's here in spirit. Mike is a long-suffering Buffalo Bills fan. Now, that takes a lot of long-suffering and tenacity, so I think that points to several other characteristics of Mike as well. His varied interests include playing tennis as well as any form of hockey, ice or otherwise, reading books, and watching movies. He's looking forward to a nice long retirement, traveling across the United States and Canada with Linda and their 2 border collies. I just want to extend my congratulations to Mike, both for his 25-year achievement as well as his pending retirement later on this month. We cannot do better than the Stiebers in terms of finding those individuals who give so much to our city and to our citizens.
So I have a proclamation that I would like to read. To Michael J. Stieber, the City of Orlando is proud of the service rendered by its employees who have contributed in no small measure to the enhancement of the City Beautiful as one of the most progressive cities in the nation. Progress in municipal government is predicated for the most part upon the loyalty and efficiency of the employees, and on their ability to carry out their duties in the highest tradition of public service. On the occasion of your retirement from the employ of the City of Orlando after 25 years of service, the Orlando City Council wishes to express its esteem of the sterling qualities manifested in your devotion and loyalty to the City of Orlando. Now, therefore, I proclaim grateful appreciation of your long and honorable record of faithful service with the City of Orlando and extend best wishes for good health and happiness. Dated this 9th day of July, 2012. You know, just another shining example of the great staff we have here at the City of Orlando that make the mayor and the city council look good all the time because of the hard work of the staff. I get up in the morning and see our solid waste guys out, the streets guys, OPD, OFD, and then everybody that labors in the facilities or right here in City Hall, and everybody does a fantastic job, and I appreciate that so much. Okay, let's, how about the mayor's update? So on June the 21st, I joined Wells Fargo Central Florida Regional President Larissa Perry and In-Charge Debt Solutions President and CEO, I like this name, Etta Money, to launch the Neighborhood Lift program, which is a major effort to stabilize neighborhoods that have been affected by the foreclosure crisis by providing financial and support assistance for prospective home buyers. So Orlando was one of 4 Florida cities selected to participate, and we will be hosting a comprehensive free large-scale home buying event on July 13th and 14th that will offer several services ranging from educational sessions, one-on-one credit counseling, down payment and renovation assistance, and tours of potential residential properties for sale. We'll be hosting that at the Orange County Convention Center from 10 to 7, and you can register online at neighborhoodlift.com. This past week, we hosted about 150,000 people for the city's annual fireworks at the Fountain event on July 4th at beautiful Lake Eola. We had a great 15-minute fireworks display. The weather was beautiful. There was no rain, and I want to thank Commissioner Ings, who did a great job with a welcome to the event, and also recognize Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioner Gray, who were in attendance, along with our Veterans Advisory Council. This Thursday, July 12th, I will join Commissioners Stewart and Sheehan for the official ribbon cutting for the Orlando Urban Trail and Family 5K Walk-Run event starting at 5:30 at the Manila Museum, and so far 600 people have already signed up for the 5K. There's a lot of things happening in downtown Orlando, and I'm excited that there are several items on the agenda related to things happening downtown, and I want to highlight a few of those. Downtown's newest hotel, Aloft, will host a groundbreaking tomorrow morning, and the hotel is located right across the street in the old OUC building, and hotel occupancy downtown is improving, and currently we are at 71%. Family Dollar is currently in the process of purchasing a location on Colonial Drive and is close to finalizing their building permits. And on the residential side of things, Steelhouse, which is located in the Uptown area, is on track to open in spring of 2013. Sky House, which is a 23-story development, was recently announced, and construction plans are under review in the planning department. 899 North Orange Apartments is on schedule to present its final plans in July. And get this, the rental apartment occupancy rate in downtown Orlando is 96.9%, up 5% from 2011. In arts and entertainment, Mad Cow will open its doors on Saturday, October 6th in their new Church Street location. Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts has started the demolition of the First Methodist Church building, and completion of that demolition will be in about 2 months, and they are on schedule and on budget. And renovations to the Citrus Bowls, subject to our vote this afternoon, will begin no later than January of 2014, and we look forward to working together with Florida Citrus Sports to turn that into a premier destination. Let's see, just a couple other things. We're also supporting our small businesses in our community by approving a number of small business assistance programs. In total, these businesses are anticipated to add 30 new full-time jobs and invest nearly $650,000 in capital. And also on today's agenda, we are approving a QTI tax refund resolution for Marjam Supply Company, an industry leader in the distribution of building supplies. The company currently has 31 sites in 12 states. They own a 140,000 square foot warehouse on West New Hampshire Street, and they are going to create 10 new jobs with the average wage of about 115% of the Orange County average. And I want to acknowledge that John Hullabar, Chief Counsel, is here today, joining us from Brooklyn. John, for you. And lastly, I want to praise our Orlando Police Department. They keep our city safe every day and prevent crime, but they also take on a different role, and through their Operation Positive Direction. Do we have the slides loaded, Ed? Okay, you want to bring those up? Actually, Chief, why don't you come up and just describe it?
Mayor, City Commissioners, I'll be brief. Operation Positive Direction is a program that former Chief Val Deming started several years ago, working with some teenagers, law enforcement groups together. And this 2 Saturdays ago, we helped an elderly female out who really needed a lot of help. Her name's Ms. Pickett. She lives at 425 Grove Ave, and she needed a lot of yard work done, painting, house cleaning, and everything else. And we went in there for 5 or 6 hours and actually took, I think, 3 loads out of her house to help her clear up some of her clutter that had gathered over the years and so forth. Painting, pressure washing, just removing some old furniture that she didn't need anymore. But more than that, it's working with the teenagers, a mentoring program between law enforcement and these great young kids. And she was very, very thankful, very appreciative, and it was a very good day.
Thank you, Chief. And
Thank you.
That's all over and above what Orlando Police Department does every day, so express our appreciation to the officers that were part of that.
Will do. Thanks, Mayor. Appreciate
All right. Okay, we are going to move on to the consent agenda, which is a number of items that are acted upon through a single vote of council. We give each of the commission members an opportunity to comment on items on the consent agenda and generally update you on items of importance from their districts. We rotate who goes first. And now you're on, Commissioner Ortiz.
Now we try again. Already said the first thing, so we're going to move right along. On June 23rd, I also attended the second annual 5-year gala benefiting the Early Learning Coalition of Orange and Osceola counties. Hats off to Mr. Tico Perez, Dick Batchelor, and Ms. Angie Sola from Disney, and all the board members for a great event. During this year's gala, they raised over $100,000. All this money will be put to ensure that children ages birth to 5 experience the benefits of developmentally appropriate, research-based early education services. On Sunday, June 24th, my aide, Ana Cruz, attended the 2012 award ceremony of the International Association of Poets and Writers. Ms. Palmira Ubiñas once again had a beautiful event where local artists receive awards for their achievements. A couple of books that were recently published, and of course, the events they have for poets. That event took place right here at City Hall. So congratulations to Ms. Palmira Ubiñas. On June 27th, the Cimarron Business Partnership had a business after hours at the Kaiser University. I want to thank Mr. Dennis Ferraro from Kaiser for the hospitality and Mr. Andrew Cole for a job well done. He's the director of the Cimarron Business Partnership, and he's really moving the Cimarron right along. On June 30th, this was a project similar to what the Chief just described, Positive Direction, but this was, I, along with some of the Cimarron Business Partnership members, volunteered during a Seniors First event where we painted, cleaned, and fixed a seniors' home in our district. I wish we could continue doing this with some other of our seniors' homes, and because now I think we have plenty of volunteers ready and eager to go. So, and since I know that the police department is there too, next time I'm going to call upon. No, you guys are always there. So, July 1st, I had the honor to welcome the 10th Annual International Blind Sports Association World Bench and Powerlifting Championship at the Hyatt Hotel located at the International Airport. They were here from July 1st through the 7th. I was also able to be present during some of their competitions. It's sad that we didn't market this enough, because watching these guys from all over the world, there's two things that impress the heck out of me. First of all these contestants, they're blind, and they're doing their powerlifting, and they're very enthusiastic about this sport. And the other thing is, we had people from every corner of the world, from Iran, from Czechoslovakia, we have from Austria, and these people got along so well. There was no hard feelings or none of this other things that are going on because of conflicts around the world. I wish the whole world learned from this experience. I also wish we had a lot more visitors from our own city watching these competitions, because they were very impressive. So I think they're going to do something else next year. I'm not quite certain, but I'm going to make sure that if we do, the city take a stand on advertising this. And Mayor, I want to thank you, because we brought the salutation from you, and they were very happy, and from our commission of being here and having this particular function right here at the City of Orlando. Excuse me. July 4th, I attended the fireworks. Commissioner Ings, great job, and Commissioner Gray. It was great sharing some time with you over there. I had never seen so many people around the lake before. I know last year we had a bunch of people, but this particular year, for some reason, I mean, the place was packed, literally packed. All right, moving on the agenda, item C7, I want to congratulate Ceviche House from South Cimarron. They're the recipients of a facade grant, and I'm very excited because I know that these guys have turned that place around, so I'm looking forward to the way the location is going to be looking at. Going right along with our vision plan, and we'd really appreciate you guys contributing to the changes we're doing on Cimarron. On item I4, we are approving services authorization for CDM Smith to provide construction, engineering, and inspection services for the Cimarron Boulevard Improvement Project that's going to be taking place towards the end of this year. So for those of you that travel through the Cimarron corridor, you're going to see some great changes, and hopefully we'll have new businesses locating around the corridor. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Mayor Teresa Jacobs for sitting at the table and working with our mayor, Mayor Dyer, on a new business, the interlocal agreement. These are the things that make not only our city but our region a great place to live, work, and play. And this is something that has to be commended. Thank you so much. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to District 3. Commissioner Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. And let me start off by offering some condolences to one of our dear friends in this community. Bert Roper passed away last week, and offer our personal condolences to Barbara and her family. Bert is just a wonderful man and a real anchor in our community, and he will be sorely missed. Let me share a couple of things going on. On July 1st, Baldwin Park had their fireworks festival. I had an opportunity to represent the city over there. It was wonderful to see that. It's continued to grow. We had probably about 12,000 people over there watching the fireworks from around Lake Baldwin, so it was really nice and a wonderful lead-in to Lake Eola. Let me mention a couple of things. The mayor's already mentioned about the trail, and I'm going to point to Ed and just share a couple of things. The Orlando Urban Trail will be opened up formally this Thursday evening, but we had a chance, Commissioner Sheehan and I, to go over there and do a little bit of work on one of the side walls over there. So here is us as we assigned our artwork. Commissioner Sheehan came over at the request of some of our staff, and especially Jeff Arms, and helped decorate it, painted it, and asked me to come over there and help paint it as well. So, Ed, go ahead and roll through. This is what the wall looked like before we got started. It was a graffiti getting ready to happen. Go ahead. Here we are, actually working.
Not working yet.
Yeah, that's good. This is we had a chance to going to dedicate this on, or I guess open it up formally on Thursday evening, and I want to show you a couple of things that we did. Ed, at the end of it, we'll go back one then. Let me talk about it. It's the Orlando Urban Trail, and one of the things here is Commissioner Sheehan's famous bad kitty. So it's an opportunity for her to do a little bit of artwork and have us join together to support a very important part of our community. And so we're excited about that. So Thursday evening, come out. I want to especially thank Commissioner Sheehan for the work that you did over there and the hard work on Independence Day, and then allowing me to come over and help out a little bit on Friday to finish it up. So thank you very, very much. Let me mention also that the East Parr Street has been closed. It'll be closed for about 5 weeks. There's a whole lot of reasons behind it, but the fact is all of them are good reasons. We had the opportunity to accelerate the project by about 2 months if we were just to close the road entirely down. And so we've done that. So it's going to be a little bit more trouble for us, but it's only going to be for 5 weeks. And so we'll be through with this project, at least the core project, with just the exception of the striping, prior to school opening. And that's a very important thing for us to do. If you're looking for something to do on this Saturday evening, July 14th, the Audubon Park Garden District is going to be celebrating Bastille Day. It's an opportunity to do wine and cheese over there and do a little fundraiser for the Audubon Park Garden District. We'll start at 6 o'clock. You can check my website for more information. And then, of course, National Night Out is around the corner. It's just a month away. So if you have not already placed your reservation, please do so. It'll be Tuesday, August 7th. Our goal in our district is to top last year's. We had 21 different parties during the course of that evening. So please plan on coming out. It will be a great time for us to celebrate crime prevention in our community. I want to mention a couple of things on the agenda. First, on C-16, to Marjam, thank you very much for your commitment. It's a $1.6 million commitment in our investment in our community. And so, Jim, thank you very much. Jenny Merrick, thank you for your commitment. Also with them today is Deck Ryland from the EDC. And, of course, Kathy Duvall, who always does a great job for us. Thank you very much for your commitment. It continues to impress me that people come here and they see the opportunities Orlando has to offer. And I am so much encouraged by that. People will say, and I've seen some things recently, that Orlando's not very business-friendly. Today, we will again represent, support, in my district, 3 business assistant grants. One at J.D. Wine Concepts. We'll be providing them $8,200 worth of assistance. The Caribbean Hut will be providing us over $10,000 worth of assistance, and Yergi Realty just over $1,000 of assistance. Orlando is business friendly. We're open for business. We want to help our small businesses continue to prosper. Also today, H4 will be applying for a grant for 13 in-car cameras. I've noticed the news media, it's always interesting as they only read part of it. So it's good to have Mark here to straighten them out. But we actually are applying for 13. If we get the grant, we'll be able to put 13 more back in, but we haven't got the money yet. We're trying to get the money to accomplish this task, and all of us on this council are supportive of in-car cameras. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is coming up in the community, and that is the College Park Neighborhood Association. On August 6th, we'll be having a candidate forum, all those that will be running for office in the first round, in the August 14th round. I'm going to please encourage them to come and attend. It's going to be Edgewater High School. It'll be at 7 o'clock that evening to get a chance to see all those candidates that will be on the ballot in the College Park area on August 14th. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. And just a note that we were recently ranked the most business-friendly city in the country by a national publication. Let's move to District 4. Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. And I was not at the budget hearing this morning because I was at the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council meeting. We were picking a new director, and that was very important. So I'm sorry I missed that, but I really want to thank you, Mayor, and the Council for your support of the parcels at Lake Eola Park to get those 5 parcels to where we can actually add significantly to Lake Eola Park. And I just want to thank you for your support on that, because I know that's going to be a legacy that we can leave for years to come. So I'm very excited to see that we're going to make sure that purchase for trust for public land, make sure that happens. So I'm delighted and really want to thank this council for your support on that. You've already seen Commissioner Stewart and I painting the wall. The interesting thing was that the Orlando Urban Trail started out in District 4. That's how long it's been worked on, over 10 years. That was the first time I worked with the Trust for Public Lands and trying to get the land from CSX Railroad and working on how they're going to recycle the railroad ties and all that stuff. So it's kind of, I guess for now on, to be known as Commissioner Stewart and my baby. If you know us, that makes it even more funny. So it's great to finally see that come to fruition. Delighted to see that. And on JD Wine Concepts, we also noticed on the other side of the wall that there might be an opportunity for graffiti. So JD Wine Concepts, in addition to the money that we'll give you, Commissioner Stewart and I will come out and paint a mural on your wall as well if you want wine glasses. So we're going to continue our little painting gig as we go. And the only reason we got selected for this job, by the way, is because we work for free. So if anybody wonders why, that's why. On the agenda today on item C10, the SCOMC office lot. Hal Canner, I'm glad you're here to get this taken care of today. On item C12, on the valet parking for Mariposa Street and for Florida Theatrical Association. Glad to see that we're getting that taken care of. Thanks, staff, for support on that as well. Item C13, we're going to get a Wawa at Curry Ford and El Paso, so that's a good thing to see as well. Item C20, Downtown South Neighborhood Improvement District, the services agreement working with Orlando Health, so we're delighted to see that moving forward as well. And finally, I3, Reeves Terrace parking lot. This is not the sexiest CDBG project ever, but it's very necessary, so I want to thank staff for finally figuring out a way to improve that lot over at Reeves Terrace so that we could get that improved and working. And again, not the sexiest CDBG project, but a very, very important one. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we'll move to District 5. Commissioner Lineham.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. District 5 is planning on a Wawa also, but there are a few problems, and I do need to talk to Dean as soon as possible. I think you left a message for me to call you, but I don't know if it was about Wawa or something else. We really appreciate that. I do want to say thank you to our ladies again regarding our Litter Index Day and the work they do in cleaning up. Sorry I missed 4th of July, but 4th of July is a time at my own house. It's as close as being in the park. I'm never sure who's going to show up, but a lot of kids come, and my grands and the children, my sister's grands, and everyone come to watch the fireworks from Eola Park and Country Club, and all the neighbors who do it illegally. I think I called 911 twice because I thought they were going to blow up the neighborhood this time. But it was a great opportunity for neighborhoods to get together and to celebrate. And I understand it was a great fireworks, Mayor. Sorry I couldn't be there, but thanks to Commissioner Eames for covering for us. And to Chief, I want to say thank you. Through the years, OPD has always come to that level of community engagement where something significant happens, whether it was Milton for the house, if you remember years ago when my son was on OPD, to other things, the wall. I had the money to pay for the wall, but you all stepped in and did that, to Mrs. Pickett. I was just delighted to hear, you're keeping that tradition going, and I personally want to say a special thank you for all you do, plus the work you're doing in my own neighborhood. So I thank you. And to have Kevin meet me 6 o'clock in the morning, I know some of the commissioners meet with the liaison officers in office. To me, it's kind of silly. I want to meet on the streets. I want to go, because I like to walk, and it gives me company while we talk about our business. But I want to tell you how much I appreciate all you do, and that great award ceremony the other day. It was just worthwhile going to. I don't get to many, but I want to congratulate you on the work and the fine work you're doing in the neighborhood, and for fighting crime. I do want to make a couple other announcements. Just recently, the new transportation bill was signed. There was one piece I mentioned this morning very, very briefly, which was a good thing. We didn't get everything we wanted, but my God, Dysfunction Junction made something happen called a new transportation bill called MAP. A piece of MAP can help us significantly with a piece of LINK's transit service. And I'm hoping to meet with Byron and Rebecca and probably John Lewis very, very soon to talk about maybe some things we can do in the city to help our residents and our employees on that. I know Mayor Dyer mentioned Wells Fargo and our Neighborhood Lift program, but I had Wells Fargo join me in Charleston, South Carolina, and recently in New Orleans regarding another piece they do. We understand there is still a foreclosure problem. Wells Fargo, and many of the banks do this too, have a hands-on banking program. Wells Fargo service a lot of mortgages. Not all of them belong to them, but a lot of government and some other bank mortgages, where they will assign one person to see you through the process. Please, if you're having a problem, contact your mortgage bank, the bank that carries your or services your mortgage. And if it's Wells Fargo, they have a very special project, and it's part of the Attorney General's settlement of almost $4 billion. So we need to reach out and help the neighborhood and our neighbors as best we can. That is just critical to our survival and moving the economy upward. So I want to say thanks to Wells Fargo for what they're doing here and across the nation. I also want to announce very briefly the White House keeping us updated on the Affordable Care Act. I know some people who are poor or working poor who don't necessarily want health care, but I have survived cancer twice. If I did not work and have a decent health coverage, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't even be alive. But the Affordable Health Care Act is very important to our community. And if there's anyone saying it's not, this act has been on the books for over 70 years. Well, it goes back almost to the first president, it seems, trying to do something about our health care. And I want people to stop this partisan craziness and start looking at what is in the best interest of you and your family and this country. I appreciate our getting this done, and I am sickened that we have a governor who wants to politicize this, saying Florida isn't going to do it with all these poor people who need help. That is just plain old stupid. So let's get stuck off of stupid and start doing what we've got to do to not roll back on these kinds of services and move forward. So I have to make that announcement. Also, then I'll go to the agenda. On item C1, I saw Chase Bank is putting a sign on the plaza. I hope there's a lot of money in there to make sure they're going to stay down there. Mel Martinez, our own Mel Martinez, is a board member of Chase, and tell you the truth, just helped me with something. You know, when you call some of the banks, they have banking centers in India, China, the Philippines, Maine, all over America. One thing about Wells Fargo, they have a lot of calling centers, but they're all in America. So I think I'm going to switch my mortgage to Wells Fargo. Well, I shouldn't say that yet. But just want to comment on C1. And before we get there, on B1, I'm sorry, Lori, I skipped. On the property regarding the bread store over behind the stadium, I really think that's a good lease, but there's an opportunity here, Mayor, that we can maybe look at buying that property. I think this is a good time. We've got enough reserve. And if anyone remembers, years ago, when we looked at the area around the sports campus there, around the stadium, Citrus Bowl, it was in the mayorhood, I think, and Mayor Chapin, she was called something else then, chairman. Steve, I know you may have remembered, you may have been a little boy, but it was the sports campus. And Steve and I are going to get together, we're going to try and pull those businesses together and see what we can do to clean up that community and engage them in a partnership so that there is a seamless effort as we move toward the renovation of the stadium, that the entire neighborhood is brought in for the renovation. So that is still on my radar, and I thought we can get started. And you know, Lori is going to come screaming and hollering. She don't want us to buy anything. Maybe we can just go ahead and buy that one. And on agenda H1, I think someone has already mentioned that grant, Chief, that the expansion, and you're just plugging away. If you get 5 or 6 now, a little bit later, of course, at that rate, I won't be here because it'll take us quite a while to get those millions of dollars in in-car cameras or lapel cameras. But I think we've got to move off the dime and go after these dollars, so I congratulate you on that. And Mayor, I believe that was the end of my agenda items, and I'll deal with the new business item when we get there.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner, and we'll move to District 6. Commissioner Ings.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, right off the press, Mayor and Council, John McReynolds, Universal Studios of Central Florida, Senior Vice President, External Affairs, announced by way of a press release today a new 1,800 rooms Universal Hotel named Universal Cabana Bay Beach Resort. So that's a great thing for the City of Orlando and obviously for District 6. And just a reminder, First Lady Michelle Obama is going to be at UCF tomorrow from 3 to 5 p.m. For an engagement there. So all of the public is invited to come to that. And then, Mayor, this past Wednesday, June the 27th, you announced the Orlando Solar Bears and the new head coach. You gave him a key to the city, Drake Berhowski. So the Solar Bears are back in town for Orlando, and this is obviously a great event for us. And again, welcome Solar Bears, a great ownership and management team, and obviously a great coach who's committed, and we're going to look for some great things from the Solar Bears. And then, of course, the July 4th, 35th Annual Fireworks at the Fountain event at Lake Eola Park. Just like it was described, so many people there, and it was really a great event. Orlando, again, shined very well. The Orlando Concert Band, they were just super. And, of course, thank you to April Michael and Michelle Brennan and Ed Richter for all that you do for the city. They, too, behind the scenes, just working to make sure everything went well. And thank you, Chief Miller, for the Orlando Fire Department color guard. Those guys look great, sharp, crisp, and Orlando looked very good. And it was a great light and sound show. That sound system is really super there at the park. And then the fireworks was great. I was looking for the building that Commissioner Sheehan was in.
That would be the View.
The View, okay. I was looking for that building because I know you were up there looking out at us and enjoying yourself at the same time. And thank you, Commissioners Ortiz and Gray, for being there in support of the city. I just want to also announce that the City of Orlando 2012 Pro-Am Summer League, operated by Midnight Basketball, the Center for Drug-Free Living, sanctioned by the NBA and NCAA, kicked off June 11th, and they will continue through August the 16th. And this is being held at the Dr. James R. Smith Community Center located on Bruton Boulevard. This NBA and NCAA sanctioned event featured NBA officials, collegiate, semi-professional, and professional players, including Courtney Lee. Courtney Lee was also here last year. He misses Orlando very much. Chandler Parsons, Joy and Stephen Graham, Austin Rivers, his brother Jeremiah Rivers were here. Orlando Magic's Glenn Big Baby Davis was there, and Big Baby Davis always puts on a great show. He just really, truly loves the people, and thank you so much for being a part of the community. Dominique Jones, Deshaun Stevens, formerly of the Magic, was also on hand. Emil McCaskill, UCF standout. Keith Clanton, former Edgewater High School All-American, and University of Memphis alumni, and Darius Myron Washington, and many other overseas players. This is a great event. Thank you to the Smith Center staff, Marlon Potee and Maurice Hampton, Akiva Wilson. You guys are really holding it together there at the Smith Center, making all of the players and the referees, everybody feel very welcoming to the Smith Center. And thank you, Rodney Williams, for stopping by to show your support as well. The City of Orlando aquatic staff and myself, we're co-hosting the annual Swim to Survive event. Denise Moore, who is the pool supervisor there at the Hankins Park, as well as Dr. James R. Smith Center, and I believe Bill Frederick Park as well. And we're having a pool bag drive on Saturday, July 14th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Dr. James R. Smith Pool, located on Bruton Boulevard. The young people of District 6 will come together for a fun-filled morning and afternoon of water safety, demonstrations, music, food, and refreshments. And Swim to Survive is orchestrated to promote water safety within District 6, especially within the low-income areas. And this outreach initiative was formed to encourage our residents, both adults and children, to take advantage and enroll in the upcoming swimming lessons offered at Hankins Park and also at the Smith Center. And Denise Moore is to be commended for a great event that she always is involved in with our children. And Channel 6 just did an hour-long story about swimming and the opportunities of being around water, and even highlighting the YMCA and how they teach even the toddlers to learn how to roll over in the pool to be able to survive. So this is a survival technique that's really good for our kids and good for our parents as well. And then also District 6 is announcing its Wildcats football time, practicing now through August 18th. Practice time is from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. to be held at the Dr. James R. Smith Neighborhood Center at 1723 Bruton Boulevard. And this is an opportunity for the coaches to help our kids by instilling pride, integrity, and sportsmanship. With the children, we have the Wildcats flag team, 5 to 7 years old, Wildcats Mighty Mites, 7 to 8 years old, the Wildcats Pee Wee team, 8 to 10 years old, Wildcats Junior team, 10 to 12 years old, Wildcats Senior team, 13 to 14 years old. And we're asking the kids to come out, wear shorts, T-shirts, and cleats or either sneakers. Coach Bird, Coach Vladimir will be on hand. The cost for participation is $45. And we do look for scholarships to help these kids because a lot of the families just can't afford it. And at the end of the season, we always host a grand banquet for the kids and giving them trophies and everything to show their achievement in this endeavor. And then coming up Friday, August 3rd of this year is the Red Tie Celebrity Golf Extravaganza. Steve, you want to take a look at this? You might want to come out, bring the commission with you, and y'all come and take advantage of this. It's going to be, the shotgun is going to start at 8 a.m. at Shingle Creek Golf Club at 9939 Universal Boulevard. And this event obviously hosts many of the activities that we do within the district, so it's to help the seniors and the youth. And this year, one of our new sponsors that came to us is Sony. Make Believe, and Sony is supplying the artist Sky Johnson, who's a three-time Grammy-nominated jazz saxophonist and recording artist, and he has a new CD that's out, and also Miles J. is going to be there. Both will be at the golf event as well as at the pairings party, which will be that Thursday night, and we're looking to host that at the Varsity Club there at the Citrus Bowl, so we're looking for that to take place. And Miles J. is also an accomplished musician, producer, and let's see, and also Universal Studios. Universal Studios Orlando Resort. They were our corporate elite sponsor last year. They're looking to try to hold on to their crown this year. And what they actually get is a framed shirt with a red tie. And that's the signature red tie golf celebrity event. So, Steve, y'all can still get involved, too. And if you want to be the elite sponsor, you can do that as well. So I'm glad y'all here today. And we have other sponsors, too. Commissioner Patty Sheehan, thank you for your sponsorship as a gold sponsor. Fun Spot, SeaWorld, Coca-Cola. The Solar Bears are jumping in there right away. And Loudmouth Golf, 740 The Game, Blue Sky Golf, My City Golf Show, and CMJ Resources. And we're still looking for more sponsorships to join us. And by the way, Nick Anderson is going to be our awards luncheon guest speaker for that particular event. And last year we did have Byron Brooks out there. Chief Rooney came, but he didn't play. He looked good in his uniform. And Chief Miller, we're going to get him out there one day. And Mayor, we're going to get you out there one day, too. You keep going on vacation, but that's okay. And that's all. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. You need to check our schedules when you schedule that thing.
I do. I do. You already be gone.
All right, District 1, Commissioner Gray.
I've got two quick comments. The first is to remind everybody tonight we'll have our second community meeting at the Lake Nona YMCA, 7 p.m. That's to solicit input from the community for a 300-unit proposed apartment project to be built. Details are on our district website, but 7 o'clock tonight at the YMCA. And the item on the consent agenda I'd like to mention is B7, and that gets the process started for the city, along with GOA, Aviation Authority, and the expressway to redesign the toll plaza there by the airport. For anybody that's been out there, not only is it unsafe, but it's not a very good feel for somebody that comes to Orlando for the first time, and as soon as they clear the airport, they have to stop and wait in line for 10 minutes and then pay a toll. So I tip my hat to those groups to get this process started. It'll take some time, but we'll redesign that toll plaza and make it a little more user-friendly. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is there a motion?
I'd like to point out that he just beat my 3-minute record. Thank you, Commissioner.
Benefit of being last.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, so the motion carries. Without objection, I'm going to go ahead and move to new business. We need to take up the new business item before we go to the CRA. I'd like the council to vote on that. So those that are just here for the consent agenda, I'm going to give you just a second to go. Okay, so under new business, we have the Second Amendment to the Orlando-Orange County Interlocal Agreement relating to the Performing Arts Center, Event Center, and Citrus Bowl, and I'm very excited to be bringing this amendment forward to allow us to kick off the construction of the Citrus Bowl renovations. And as we have seen from the Amway Center, if we build these venues, they are going to mean economic benefit to our community. We just had an all-star game that produced $95 million worth of economic activity, and that was just over a 3 or 4 day period. And if you look back to the bowl season that we had this last year, Steve, $80 to $100 million, somewhere in that range, 2 sellout games, fantastic. And if we're going to keep our bowl priority and compete in this new landscape, we have to have a facility that people actually want to come watch a game in. So it's critically important that we move this project forward at this point. And in 2007, I guess the Great Recession really taught us that we need to always anticipate the worst-case scenario. So this amendment to the agreement builds in a number of safety nets, basically 5 years' worth of debt service payments in the event that the TDT were to not come in as expected. And after the 2001 events and 2007 events, it took the TDT about 2 full years to recover. So we can't really envision a scenario that it would take 5 years to recover. If we had one of those, we're going to be worrying about more than debt service to the Citrus Bowl. So I think really we fashioned a better agreement now than what we had originally back in 2007. The construction is going to mean, just as the Amway Center, hundreds, and just as the Performing Arts Center, hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs during the course of the construction. And then we'll be able to host any type of event the world has to offer in a stadium once we have completed that. It also, the negotiations have led to a win-win situation with the Performing Arts Center as well. The county proposed, and we agreed, that an escalation clause for the Performing Arts Center, as the Citrus Bowl had, would be appropriate. So that is included in the interlocal agreement, as well as we'll bring modifications to their city OPAC agreement forward that will establish that when they have secured the private funding portion, we will be ready to bond the public money portion so that we can move stage 2 of the Performing Arts Center forward. I want to recognize Steve and all the, I keep wanting to say green coats, but now black coats that are in the audience today, for your continued support, and Kathy Ramsberger and her crew representing Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center. So great community partners that have lasted through the course of, now about 8 years of working on this. So it's a good day for all of the venues in all of Orlando. Rebecca?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. This afternoon, just having the opportunity to look at these projects, I thought it would be a good idea for us to sort of just do an overview of where we are in all of these projects, and to kind of do some level setting as to where we're going to head once we move forward from this point. First, let's take a quick look at the Amway Center. The Amway Center's final cost was approximately $497 million. That was $385 million for the building, and we're funded from several funding sources. $270 million from the 6-cent TDT. Now, as you may recall, the Amway Center was funded from the levy of an additional penny, half of which went to the hospitality industry, and the other half went to the debt service for this professional sports franchise facility, which was an allowed use of the 6 cent. Those are the only 2 allowed uses of the 6 cent, I might add. $30 million came from the state and a state sales tax rebate program. $12 million was the present value of the lease payments that would be paid from the Magic to the city over the 25-year lease period. $55 million was a Magic contribution paid in cash, and then we had $18 million of interest earnings that were accumulated over the course of the project, all of which went in to fund that $385 million. There was an additional $41 million contributed in property from the city. The city purchased the property under which the Amway Center was constructed, and we had an additional $71 million of infrastructure, as well as a garage, the Geico garage, that was constructed as well and funded by the city. The Amway Center opened October 1st, 2010, and as the mayor indicated a few minutes ago, I think that we can already see the economic impact of this facility and what it's going to mean to us over a long period of time, and that is that the All-Star Weekend did result in $95 million of economic impact just in that one short period alone. And who knows what other events will bring to us in the future. certainly it's going to be a great investment for the City of Orlando. Within the interlocal agreement, a concept was created where all three venues would have a quality standard which it would need to meet. So it was not simply, so much money to create a building, but rather a building that had particular characteristics associated with it. So we had a quality standard we had to meet, not only to live within our budget, but to actually produce what we intended to produce. And that quality event standard was achieved on time and within budget. Now, there were some enhancements to that quality standard, some additional elements that were requested by the Orlando Magic, and they went beyond that quality standard, and those were purchased by and paid for by the Orlando Magic. And some examples of that included some finishes and some additional electronics and other kinds of media that were within the building. And so I think, all in all, it was a great accomplishment to get that building built as we had originally envisioned it within budget, but that for the Orlando Magic to actually enhance that building beyond that original standard. We had some residual funds at closeout, which happens often. Hopefully we had money left over instead of being short at the end of a project. That's always music to my ears. But at any rate, in this particular case, we had some money that was left over. The only two ways that we could spend this money, one is to spend it on the building, which we had already completed the building and did not need it for that. And the other type of use would be to deposit it into the debt service fund to pay the debt off, and that's what we did. Finally, a very important aspect of this project and all of our projects associated with the community venues is the accomplishment of our blueprint objectives. And we exceeded our blueprint MWBE goals. There were 36% participation. And this, by the way, is measured as these various payments are made. And so as a result, it gets updated until we have completed every payment. We're not quite there yet. We still have a couple of payments left. And right now we're at 36% participation as of the April 2012 Mayor's Community Oversight Committee meeting. That was on June the 12th, 2012 was the date of that meeting, but the 36% participation was as of April. So I think we can conclude that that was a great accomplishment and a great asset that was created that benefited both our community as it was built as well as benefiting our community as we move forward. Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts was also a project. This project, as well as the Citrus Bowl, was funded from a different funding source, both tourist development tax, but a different tourist development tax source. Each one of the pennies of tourist development tax have certain definitions of allowable uses. And so to get the appropriate allowable uses for the Performing Arts Center and for the Citrus Bowl, we have to use the first through 4 cents of the TDT, but our contribution is calculated on the first through 5 cent total. The economic recession actually caused some considerable delay and required that the project be redesigned into 2 phases. As you might imagine, and I think just from a simple kind of point of view, if you're going to take a big building and you're going to split it into 2, you have to build a wall you didn't intend to build. And then when you come with the second phase, you're going to have to take that wall down and connect a new building to it. So there was additional design that had to be done and a lot of evaluation in how to structurally accomplish this phasing, which was not considered and not anticipated when the building was originally designed. Our financing summary for the Dr. Phillips Center includes essentially the Stage 1 financing summary, as you can see here, for a total of $293.2 million. And that's coming from a number of sources, as you can see on the slide. And then contributed to construction, to land, and then to infrastructure that's being built surrounding the building. The Stage 2 is going to require another $177.5 million, and that is going to require quite a bit of step up on the part of the Dr. Phillips Center. They will need to go out and raise some additional funds over and above what they committed to raise when this project was originally envisioned. And they are going out and for Stage 2 will raise another $75 million. And hats off to them for what they've accomplished to date and what we anticipate they're going to accomplish in the next year or so as they try to raise that additional amount so that we can move forward with the project. And the mayor has, and we will bring to the council later on this month, a modification to their agreement that will memorialize the mayor's commitment to issue those bonds and get that project underway as soon as those funds are available and ready for construction, the funds that they have to raise, the $75 million. That's going to make this project a total of $470.7 million when we're done, and that is, I guess the original project was $425 million. That's very understandable given the amount of redesign that had to be done and the fact that we've got to do essentially 2 projects and not one, and then we'll have to do some construction twice as we add on that new building. So I think that is what we're anticipating right now. I will say that Stage 2, for Stage 2, we are assuming a 2% CPI factor over the life of the escalation period, which in the interlocal agreement will be from January 1st, 2010 through December 31st, 2015, those 6 years, and that we anticipate, based on a projection of when that may start, that we will have approximately $86 million available for Stage 2 from contract TDT using debt escalation. Stage 1 is on time and within budget, and it does include the 2,700-seat theater. That's the amplified theater, and there is a 300-seat education theater as well. The safety record on that job is exemplary. There's been no lost time incidents, and I'm going to knock on wood so that we make sure that we don't have that happen. The blueprint is going quite well, and we are exceeding our MWBE goals. We're at 27% participation as of the April 12 meeting, or the April 12 report that was presented to the mayor's Community Oversight Committee meeting on June 12th, 2012. And our target opening date for that hall will be the fall of 2014 for that particular season. Stage 2 is the 1,700-seat multiform theater. This is the theater which allows for the, the transformation, I'll use that term, the transformation of a proscenium-type theater into a concert hall. Very different configuration, but it allows us to have a perfect use of that building for our symphony or our Philharmonic, as well as any symphony that we have visiting. And then to be able to transform that hall so that we can put on opera and other more theatrical presentations in that smaller hall. Dr. Phillips Center, as I indicated before, announced a $75 million fundraising goal to complete this Art Center project, and that is to get us all the way home with all 3 theaters open and operating. And Mayor Dyer has committed, as I indicated before, to issuing debt when all philanthropic contributions are raised and monetized so that we can move forward with the construction. The costs are expected to increase due to construction delays and building this project in 2 stages, as I indicated before. And our proposed amendment to the community venues interlocal agreement includes an escalator clause provided to offset a portion of this expected increase. On to the Citrus Bowl. The Citrus Bowl was delayed as well, really for 2 reasons. One, the economic recession, as well as the fact that there was a requirement to fund, not to necessarily build, but to fund all of the Performing Arts Center ahead of the Citrus Bowl. Because we have Capital One and bowl negotiations, as well as I believe other bowl negotiations, hopefully to get us some additional events that we might have here in Orlando, are going to occur as we move through the rest of this year. We wanted to accelerate the Citrus Bowl renovations so that could be we could be in a very good position from a negotiating perspective as we enter into those negotiations. And the proposed amendments that we're making to the Community Venues Interlocal Agreement will expedite those renovations. The sources that we have for the Citrus Bowl include contract TDT revenues with the provided escalator of $152 million. Now that is estimated, and only as good as my crystal ball is clear at this particular point. So it may be that number is a little different when we get to that point, but that is a good estimate for us to go forward with. The city has provided $12 million to date, plus $21 million that is the completion of the city's commitment to the Citrus Bowl project. And then we anticipate accruing about $4 million worth of interest over the life of this project for a total of $189 million, all of which go to construction. I will point out that $12 million of this has already been spent, and that is to do the 2009-2010 design and improvements project that we did. And that included improvements to food service areas, bathrooms, technological and lighting upgrades, artificial turf, aesthetic enhancements, and other repairs that we did to the Citrus Bowl at that particular point. And the future Citrus Bowl improvements will build on the 2010 improvements that we did before. This also included a draft pre-design report that helped us to sort of know the direction that we would go once we had the funding necessary to be able to move forward with the project. If this amendment to the Community Venues Interlocal Agreement is approved, then we will start final design immediately, and we'll move forward through that. We have $21 million on hand to complete that design and to begin to do some preliminary work to the Citrus Bowl. We plan to provide the credit source and issue the debt for the Citrus Bowl in early 2014, and then our target completion date will be December of 2014. We will be looking as we move forward with some various timelines and plans and that sort of thing as we get into the design phase to give you a better idea of what the construction timeline will be. But our goal is to complete all of those renovations by December 2014 so that we can start our new contracts with the bowl games with the new facility. The proposed amendments will allow the renovations to the Citrus Bowl to be expedited and also to, as I indicated before, to provide a cost escalation feature for the Performing Arts Center. Associated with the Citrus Bowl is a one-time $12.5 million county reserve that will provide extra support to the city's debt. Essentially, this then provides us with half of 1 year's debt service available for us to draw on in the event that TDT is not sufficient to pay a year's debt service. We will extend the contract termination of this interlocal agreement to allow for 30-year debt to be issued. There are a number of dates within the interlocal agreement. All of those will be extended to allow us the time necessary to have 30-year debt. It also will allow for excess contract TDT revenues to be used for shortfalls. And this is really an interesting addition and one which is going to be very advantageous to the city, because what it allows us to do is if we have extra tourist development tax money in a given year over and above our debt service, we get to put it in a savings account in the event in a future year we don't have enough. And we get to do this for the first 10 years of the of the debt issue, and after that point, then we're going to pay debt off as we have extra money. But I think if you just simply look at an average tourist development tax stream, which we haven't had in the last 5 to 10 years, but if we have that sort of normal stream, we really will accumulate enough funding over 10 years to be able to pay this entire debt issue off. So that's the good news. And I think the ability for us to bank whatever tourist development tax that we get that we don't need in a year is a really, really strong addition to the interlocal agreement. And then we're also allowed some flexibility to determine the timing. In the original agreement, we had to fund the Performing Arts Center before we could fund the Citrus Bowl. We're now making that really a function of the readiness of the Performing Arts Center to begin construction, which is dependent on philanthropic contribution. But we stand by and are ready to go forward at whatever time, even if it's earlier than the Citrus Bowl goes. We're standing by to issue that debt and go forward with the Performing Arts Center as soon as they have that funding available to us to use for construction. And with that, I'll take questions, ma'am.
Commissioner Lineham is up. Let's take questions, and if you have comments, I want to let Steve speak for a second and Jeff Jonas, and so if there's discussion or comments, let's hold those till after the speakers. But questions.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Lineham, was your...
Go ahead.
Okay. Steve?
First, Mayor and Commissioners, I just wanted to say thank you. As a tenant of the facility for the last now 66 years, in some form or shape or other, of the 76 years that the building has been there, for 66 years this community has hosted a bowl game. And that's a pretty cool thing. You know, before this community really was a tourism mecca and many of the things that it is today and the diversified community that we are creating together, we've hosted a game, and that's one of 7 cities in this country that could claim that. So in a young community, I think that's a cool thing to be a part of. When you look at our history of community leaders here, they set out with the creation of that bowl game to create an opportunity to stimulate our economy, attract sports tourism, hopefully pride in the types of events that we can host in this facility, and ultimately benefit children and education in this community. And I want to thank also, I saw the chief here, I think he's Chief Rooney, for their support. We actually have 300 kids at the stadium over the next several weeks, and in partnership with a great program, the chief and the police department are there with the kids as we speak today, helping them. These are at-risk kids on the free and reduced lunch program in our community for free, enjoying the stadium and learning about life and a brighter future. So thank you for allowing us and many others to enjoy such great success, Mayor. When you think about World Cup, Olympic soccer, NFL sports in this community in the 90s, and some of the great events, WWE's, WrestleMania, that we've had together as a community, it's been because of that facility. In the better part of the last 2 decades, it's been on life support. And without your leadership, and without the leadership of this group, our venue partners in the community, and Dr. Phillips and the Amway Center, and many, many business leaders in Citrus Sports and others, I think we're going to have a chance to save this thing. And not only have a bright bowl game future, but maybe we have a bright future as a part of that playoff. Maybe we have a bright future. I know we're going to have a bright future as it relates to getting back into some of those major events we enjoyed with regularity in the 90s. You've put us shoulder to shoulder with the other great destinations of this country and said, Orlando's here, and you're going to have to deal with us, because we're going to come after every piece of business that we really qualify for. And I agree with you, Mayor. I think that's just about anything that we can dream, and we're going to win most of it. So without you, we wouldn't be there today, and I just want to say thank you for your support.
Steve, could you update us on the process that they are going to use for selecting the 6 bowls that will participate in the playoff system?
Yes. Right now, what was the Bowl Championship Series, the BCS, as you all should well know, has gone away. So those 4 games, those 4 cities, which has been the Rose Bowl out in L.A., Pasadena, the Fiesta Bowl in Phoenix, the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, and the Orange Bowl in Miami. Pretty much everybody was put on notice that is gone, and we're now going to have 6 cities in the country that will rotate 2 semifinal playoff games in the new college football playoff over 12 years. So you as a city, as part of that 6, would be able to host 4 of those games. So it's very exciting to think about potentially having an opportunity to insert ourselves. And if you read the articles around the country, if you Google the playoffs and sites, you'll find that, and especially 10, 12, 15 years ago, Orlando was always mentioned first as the city that should be a part of the BCS. That's gone away for a number of years now, but as of the announcement over at the Citrus Bowl weeks ago, you saw that name shoot back up into that conversation, and people starting to theorize whether those 4 incumbent cities may already, several have staked a claim in the Rose Bowl. The Orange Bowl partnership with the ACC was just announced last week. And then you'll see the Champions game, which may either be New Orleans or Dallas or Phoenix. 3 of those are going to be in. Then there's going to be three spots up for grabs. Atlanta, Dallas, many others around the country are going to join Orlando in a vigorous fight to win a seat at that table. So I expect the TV negotiation to start probably in the next number of weeks. no later than the next 30 days. How long that takes, I'm not sure. But once they get that done, and if not simultaneously, they'll go out to bid for the communities to compete head-to-head to see who's going to grab a piece of those remaining 3 spots in the playoff.
So the timing of our vote today and the county's vote tomorrow is critical toward you being a participant in those discussions.
It couldn't be a minute too soon, Mayor. And quite frankly, if it's not a yes today and tomorrow, I think we send a very dangerous message to the country that we're still kind of playing games in the national landscape of sports, and we need to send a message that we're loud and clear. We're here to play ball.
Great, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Jeff Jonas, and I'm here today in my role as chairman of the Central Florida Partnership, speaking in support of this Second Amendment. 6 years ago, when we formed the Central Florida Partnership, among the very first regional priorities that we looked at were the 3 new community venues, and we embarked upon an effort called Project Hometown. So it's good to be back here today talking about a path to completion of those 3 venues. Even though our community partnership has 7 counties in it, all of the 7 counties and the business leaders from those 7 counties recognize that these 3 community venues were important regional assets, not just assets for the people of the city of Orlando. Our views in that regard haven't changed at all. We, the partnership and the city, have had numerous opportunities to work together on a lot of different projects, from Sunrail to transportation and many others, but this one's special. This is among the first that we worked on together, and we intend to stand by you as you see it to completion. We'd like to offer our thanks as a business community, or as representatives of part of the business community, to all those who've worked to clear this latest hurdle. Mayor Jacobs and her team at the county, you, Mayor Dyer, you commissioners, and your team here at the city, and of course that dedicated team of community builders at Florida Citrus Sports for all that they do throughout the year to support our community. And there are many other community leaders and business leaders who've worked behind the scenes to bring us to this point, but we all need to continue to work together to see it through to the end. You, Mayor Dyer, and commissioners, we applaud your efforts, your leadership, your tenacity, your vision. It's not easy to carry projects for a long period of time to successful completion, but we stand ready and stand beside you to help in that effort. We'll be there tomorrow as well, helping to advocate to see this thing through for this important project for our community. Thank you,
Jeff. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Motion by Commissioner Lineham, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Now, Commissioner Lineham, you're first up.
Thank you. Mayor Dyer, and I want to thank you and this council because I believe the trajectory for the Citrus Bowl will bring back to the city and to our debt, servicing this debt, will come more from the stadium than any of our venues. I think it will surpass anything we can expect from the performing arts. Arts never pay for themselves. We have to have another source to keep that standing firmly. So I think this is a no-brainer. I know it was difficult to get to this place, but many years ago we thought we had it worked out. And we've been very patient in the city with a number of projects because we understand what happened to the economy. We know this is was not a good time, but it was a good time for our city to keep jobs. And we were able to keep a lot of small businesses going. And that is why our unemployment rate probably in the city may be better than statewide. And statewide is really moving real well. So I want to say real special things. But in working with one of my colleagues, I want to ask Rebecca or someone, maybe Byron, over at the county, there was a question, and it will be raised tomorrow. Actually, I think Byron and I kind of laughed about it, and it was regarding the quality of construction of the stadium and the maintenance. What is our plan? I was telling Byron and I were laughing. We said, well, we've always had good maintenance. The thing was old, 1936. I mean, that's older than me. So so for an old building, we've done real well, I think, with maintaining it, keeping the grounds as best we can. But this is an issue, and I think it's a good time to talk about the quality of work and how we're going to move it, what is our maintenance plan for moving it along, so that in another 5 years, we don't have to come back and say, oh, we need $1 million to go and fix so-and-so that broke because the quality of work was not there. And I know tomorrow this question is going to come, so I thought we would practice the answer here. So we're all on board here, and I'm almost certain all of the county, for the most part, is too. But let's practice that answer and deal with it here.
I appreciate the opportunity to practice because I'm going to need it before I go over there. I think that that's a very, very important concept, and one which I know is very important to Alan Johnson because, you know, he's responsible for the operation of that venue. And as we have issues with maintenance, and particularly maintenance of systems and structure and that sort of thing, that becomes a difficult issue. I think that, you know, Alan has investigated and has advocated, as we have created various contracts for the use of the facility, to add a facility fee into the ticket price. And that facility fee needs to be set aside for exactly that. And I think that that's our plan as we move forward. I think it's going to be something that we're going to look very seriously at as we do the design for the building. We need to have a full consideration of the going forward position, both from an operating and from a maintenance perspective, because as we spend this money on this facility, we would like to see this facility set up for another long-term run, not a short-term run, not something that we're going to end up having to do half of a job and then end up having to come back a little later and do that. We can't always anticipate the changes that might be necessary in the future from the perspective of it being, operationally deficient from the perspective of an event. Example that we can draw right now is the tendency in this decade to create many, many new types of premium seating. Those kinds of things we really can't anticipate, but we certainly can anticipate the age of the systems, the construction of the building, how the building needs to be maintained, the major maintenance that we need to do to the building, and then the periodic maintenance that we need to do to the building to keep it in great shape. Because we want to see this go another 76 years and
without renewal.
Be good. Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah. I think that our biggest risk from the perspective of future maintenance is really going to be that we will end up with operational obsolescence as a result of new developments that occur that we haven't addressed because we didn't know they were coming. But from the perspective of the maintenance of the structure, we should be all over that. And we should also require that the quality of construction meet our standard. And that's going to be a function of having very, very active construction management and oversight to be sure that this quality standard is met so that we have the kind of building that's going to last for a very, very long time, and that we can maintain easily.
Right. And I think part of the answer that I was waiting to hear and that they're going to want to hear is that facility fee.
Yes.
And being set aside to use for upkeep and maintenance, et cetera. I do want to say that I hope our stadium stays at some point where the entire community can enjoy it, affordable, where absolutely affordable for the community it has occupied for the last 76 years or 80. Is it 76? 1936? Oh, I thought
Long
it was
time.
80-something. Okay. Well, for 76 years, and that those folks around there to some degree will get some of these jobs, be able to participate in the games, and, of course, not only the stadium, but we've got to look to Tinkerville, because baseball is not going anywhere except it's leaving Orlando, it seems. So I really thank you for that response. And if you don't forget to say facility fee,
I will
you'll be all right
remember to
tomorrow.
say facility fee.
That will be the answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity to rehearse.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Stewart.
This is questions now? We're doing questions now?
We're on discussion.
All right. One of the things, and Steve, I know you mentioned it earlier, and I want to make sure we get this out on the public, is that the annual impact of that facility, I know that you have, just the weekend game alone is $80 to $100 million. But I think that impact is a little bit larger than that. I mean, most people have not understood all those other things that go on there, where you have some involvement in those, although they rent from us directly. Tell us about what you believe the annual impact is on all the operation of that facility.
Well, the annual impact out of the EDC report in 2006 of all 3 community venues showed that the projections for a future renovated facility should be in the neighborhood of $220 to $250 million in any given year, with the proper event schedule that you should be able to produce with a renovated facility. It's currently operating at close to $100 million, maybe $120 million a year as we speak, so a little under half of what its performance should be for the community. That's pretty substantial when you think about 70 to 80% of that coming from visitors from outside our community and paying the tax. That's funding, the majority of the 3 community venues. Yeah.
Good, thank you. I am, in the discussion side, this council knows the close connection that my family has with that bowl game, as my dad was a founder in 1944 when they started the process to the first game. And those of you who have heard me speak publicly will claim that the mayor and I disagreed on the process. I believe the first venue needed to be done was the Citrus Bowl. If you make a decision based upon solely impact of the community and putting heads in beds, and every time you accomplish that task, I don't want to say I diminish all 3 of them. It's just that when you look at a dollars and cents, fill the bowl, and see what the impact is on everybody else, you see that directly in this facility. And so I've been a proponent of this from the time we've started thinking, let's get this thing done, because this actually will lead to a great deal more of the impact in downtown Orlando, the impact of what Commissioner Lynham says in the community. And so I also know that the indirect impact of economic development happens a great deal with the arena and the performing arts. So you end up you bring, as I've said in the past, you do the performing arts, and that is a catalyst for bringing Sanford Burnham to Orlando. I mean, so what you have is it's just not quite as easy as a black and white discussion on these long-term community developments. So that's why I think all 3 of them have to work together, because they work in tandem to different markets and about what they do to attract our community. So I could not be more pleased in the moving forward. And Mayor, I want to say personally, and thank you personally for your leadership and working with 2 mayors in Orange County to accomplish this task, because I think we're going to see. We're going to be around long enough to know that the decisions we make today are decisions that I think are going to have a lasting impact on our community, a lasting impact for the good, both in terms of job creation as well in terms of long-term development for the image of our entire community. So thank you very much, Mayor.
All right. I don't see any more.
One more.
Commissioner Lynham.
All is good. Let's just hang on to this. This is a good feeling. I didn't say this. I want to say a real special thanks to Mayor, what's her name? Jacobs. Forgot her name. I'm sorry. And those commissioners that really have been standing in there to support her on tomorrow. It was a little tedious, but I think she deserves our honorable mentions here today. And I think she understands, too, that the more events we have at the stadium, the more TDT. I mean, there are going to be lots of people coming here, and they've got to live somewhere, and it's those hotels that are going to bring us the money we need. So this is one common sense way of borrowing money and paying it back through the very event that you need, the events that we need. This is good for District 5, it's good for the city, it's good for Central Florida. So I really wanted to say my thanks to Teresa Jacobs also. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner, you just stole my thunder.
Oh.
Yes.
May I be recognized?
Sure.
I just also want to express publicly my appreciation for the collaboration that I experienced in working this amendment out with the county. We don't always get credit here for working well with the county, but I can assure the public and you that this was a very cooperative, professional, and smooth process, and where we were working toward a common good, and it was not an adversarial process whatsoever. So I just want to recognize my counterparts at the county for their participation and their professionalism in getting this thing done as quickly as we were able to get it done. Thank you.
Commissioner Ings.
Thank you, Mayor, since we're all getting sentimental. And I know the sentimental aspect is because of joy and the great things that are beginning to happen as we get ready to vote on this. But Kathy Ramsberger and Jim Pugh, thank you guys, too, for your leadership and all that you have done. And being patient. And Steve, and I do miss the Green Jackets, too. But thank you guys, too, for all of your support and your patience. And I know this has been kind of hard on all of us. But, Mayor, for you and Mayor Teresa Jacobs to really now pull it together along with staff. And really, staff, you are the ones that really make it happen. And so I thank you so much for all that you have done. Byron, too, and Rebecca, you guys have done a great job in really making this happen, Mayor, and thank you for your leadership and your vision on this as well. And, of course, all of the commissioners here, because we all want to see the greatness happen in the city of Orlando, and we're working towards that, so thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I'll close by also saying thank you to Mayor Jacobs. Much ado has been made out of what our relationship is and whether we drink beer together on the weekends or whatever, but this just shows that we can work together collaboratively for the good of the community, and we certainly both agreed that both the Convention Center and the Citrus Bowl are major regional assets that we need to protect and cultivate. They're both economic engines for our community. We're supportive of making sure they have the resources necessary to maintain the Convention Center as well as the Citrus Bowl, and I think we're going to be able to do both of those by passing these amendments that we have before us today. And once again, when we work together and collaborate and in partnership, we can make great things happen in our community. And, you know, our community does that better, I think, than any region in the country, and that's why we're poised to be the dominant region in this next century. Okay, with that, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And the motion carries unanimously. I have some ceremonial footballs to sign, but what I would like to do is go ahead and do the CRA so that we have both the CRA and the city approval. So without objection, I will recess the City Council meeting and convene the CRA meeting. First item of business is accepting meeting minutes from May 30th.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lineham, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Second item of business we're going to delete from the agenda today, and that will come back at a future meeting. So we are now on the Second Amendment to the interlocal agreement that we just passed at the City Council meeting. Is there a motion to
Let's
approve?
move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lineham, second by Commissioner Stewart. Commissioner Lineham, did you have the first motion?
Yes.
Why don't we let Commissioner Stewart be the motion maker
He
on
needs
this
to talk
one?
faster.
All right.
But
Motion.
you always do it anyway, so go ahead. It doesn't
All right.
matter.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Lineham. Discussion, hearing none. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And so the motion carries. Now you can clap. Okay, so we signed 3 ceremonial footballs, myself and Mayor Jacobs, at the press conference announcing this. So the idea was to have the city commissioners sign off and then the county commissioners sign off. So let's just use one quadrant of this so that we leave space on there for the county commissioners to sign, okay? There you go. Take it and pass it.
So which quadrant is that going to be?
Just keep it going that way.
No, this is a pain.
The only comment I got from the county commission was don't sign your name too big. leave room
How
for
long
us.
until here, then?
Well, I figure we'll just take our quadrant.
Mayor, too much signing the names to be, give it to Ted, he'd probably put his pen in it. Blow it out. Deflate the football.
Yep. Pass it on. Commissioner Gray, bring it back.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Ed. Thank you. I need a better marker.
Whoa. Jeez, Commissioner Ortiz.
Easier with a pen, Patty, than with a paintbrush.
Indeed. Your name still came up prettier, though. Yeah. Did I not sign that one? Oh, no.
Now it's thrown.
Yep, let's, hey, Steve and Black Kids, let's do ceremonial picture. Come on, guys.
You take your little blue stick.
We're coming down?
I can't get out.
Sell it on eBay.
There, I'm having to give the balls to Heather, so I'm sure they get to the count tomorrow.
I don't want to decide a big blue, or a big orange, or something like that.
Yeah. All right, we will adjourn the CRA meeting and without objection convene the Neighborhood Improvement District meeting. First item of business is accepting meeting minutes from the June 13th, 2012 Advisory Council. Is there a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Second is the interlocal services agreement between the city and the NID for fiscal year 2011-12. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, so the motion carries. We'll adjourn the NID meeting and reconvene the City Council meeting, and we are on hearings, ordinances, second reading. Number 1, Madam Clerk, would you read that?
An ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Growth Management Plan to amend future land use element policies 5.411 and 5.7.2, to amend future land use element figure LU2F, and to amend urban design element figure UD32, providing for severability and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the City of Orlando, Florida, certain real property generally located north of Lee Vista Center, south of Hoffner Avenue, east of Conway Road, and west of Kempston Drive, and addressed as 4850 Hoffner Avenue, comprised of 4.98 acres, more or less, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to designate the property as office low intensity in part and industrial in part on the city's official future land use map, and designating the property as low intensity office with the aircraft noise overlay district in part and industrial park with the aircraft noise overlay district in part on the city's official zoning map, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, rezoning certain land generally located north of Vanguard Street, east of International Drive, south of West Oak Ridge Road, and west of Florida's Turnpike, comprised of 78 acres, more or less, from PD in part, AC3/SP in part, PD/SP in part, and O1/SP in part, to PD in part and PD/SP in part, providing land development regulations for the Plan Development Zoning District, directing amendment of the official zoning map series, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Lineham. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 4, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, vacating, closing, and abandoning portions of Palmetto Avenue, located generally in downtown Orlando, north of East Robinson Avenue, east of North Magnolia Avenue, south of East Livingston Street, and west of North Roslyn Avenue, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Oh, move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Lineham, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 5, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the Plan Development Zoning District regulations for certain real property generally located north of West Sand Lake Road, south of Dr. Phillips High School, east of Spring Lake, and west of Turkey Lake Road, and comprised of 93.2 acres, more or less, amending the Plan Development District's development program, site plan, and conditions of development, directing amendment of the official zoning map series, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ing, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Ordinances, first read. Madam Clerk, number 1.
An ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, amending the city's adopted growth management plan by amending the city's future land use map designation from residential medium intensity to residential high intensity for certain real property generally located north of East Jackson Street, south of Mariposa Street, east of South Eola Drive, and west of South Summerlin Avenue, and addressed as 225 South Eola Drive, 608 Mariposa Street, 601 East Jackson Street, and 609 East Jackson Street, comprised of .62 acres, more or less, also changing the zoning designation from R3B/T in part and R3B/T/AN in part to MXD2/T in part and MXD2/T/AN in part for the same real property, directing amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, designated certain real property generally located at the northeast corner of Narcoossee Road and the Beachline Expressway, State Road 528, and comprised of 29.14 acres, more or less, as AC1 on the city's official zoning map, as requested by the property owner, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gray, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Is there anyone from the public that would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 3, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance for the City of Orlando, Florida relating to the Municipal Planning Board, amending Part 1E, Chapter 65, Orlando City Code, to reduce the regular membership of the board from 11 to 9 in accordance with the recommendations of the 2011 Citizen Board Review Committee, providing updated statutory references, eliminating redundant provisions, providing for severability, repeal of conflicting ordinances and actions, codification, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Ings. Is there anyone from the public who would like to testify on this matter? Discussion among commissioners. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. And that concludes the official business of the Orlando City Council for today.
And we have no general appearances.
Have you heard?